Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, I probably won't get a whole lot of people in here, and that's okay. I just wanted to pop in here and give you guys a live stream. Hey George, what's up? Luca, what's happening? Chris, hey Seven Son, good to see you. Catherine, Trophy Fish. Yeah. So yeah, guys, we've had a string of solar flares, and let me address something real quick, okay? I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick. And I'm sure you guys read my title or whatever. You're probably like, what in the heck is he talking about? Right? Well, we've had, like I said, we've had some flares, but I do. Hey, Grandma JJ, good to see you. And I am sorry, guys, that I haven't done any live streams lately. I have to be honest, I've been sick, number one. Running some pretty good temperature. Actually, it's 103.5. It still hasn't got below 102.5. Yeah, and I'm not going to get into my own health right now. You guys don't want to hear all that mess. But I've been spending a lot of my energy and stuff helping others, okay, and helping myself. You guys know that I've been trying to run the technical part of the Lifeboat channel with Tommy Scoville. It's a recovery channel. And I've been trying to, just be a positive influence and do all those kinds of things that we're supposed to do and all that. And I have to be honest, guys. My channel here, I got attacked about, I don't know, a week and a half ago, roughly thereof. Got laughed at, pretty much called stupid, all those kinds of things, right? And typically, normally that kind of stuff doesn't bother me, but this really came out of the blue, and it came from a direction I didn't think it would. I've never really have done anything on that side of things, right? And I don't usually address those kinds of things here. And again, guys, I'm not going to mention any names, so please don't go attack anybody if you guys know what I'm talking about or anything like that. It's never my intention. And not everybody in that live stream was laughing at me. Okay, so I'll just put it, and I do appreciate those that weren't. Know that I noticed. Okay, and I'm not saying names because nobody deserves to get attacked. I don't care if they've done whatever. It's just not worth it to me. So that's what I would say to that. Now, I have to say, guys, that to be honest with you, I've had enough. I have had enough. I've been attacked more times than I can count. I've never once come out and tried to slam anybody or try to even defend myself, to be honest with you. And it's, you guys are the only reasons why I'm still here. And I'm honest about that. That's 100% true. But I really just don't know the future of what's going to happen here. I don't know if I can handle that kind of stuff much longer. What people forget is that when stuff like that happens, on the other side of the screen, there's a real person. And that real person was me this time. And multiple times before. And we've been talking, again, my friend Tommy, words mean things. Words hurt. Words help. Words love. Words do all those things. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like what happened didn't bother me, because it did. It still does. And it may have just shook me enough that this might go away. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. And it's, to be honest with you, I'm leaning more towards that than not. Back at you, man. And again, this is one of those subjects that, listen, I tried to respect people all the way around on all of this. But it is what it is, Hey, Rip, what's up? Hey, Jack, good to see you. George. So before I talk about that for just a couple more minutes, I want to go through this solar weather real quick for you guys, because we do have, and this is another thing that keeps me here, right? I mean, I really do enjoy the solar weather. I do. I enjoy reporting on it, or I wouldn't do it, So let me go through that with you guys first, those that are here just to get the information. and we'll talk after. So sorry about that. I probably should have just did that from the beginning. But anyway, you guys see the Schumann here. Not really much going on. A little bit of a spike there. But the big story, like I said, guys, is the M flare. And again, here's your flaring. Now, we do have an R1 minor radio blackout storm right now because of this. Now, notice, everybody's going to be talking about this M flare, but most people won't even tell you that there was a C8 and a C9 right here, I think it was. It almost eclipsed an M flare there also. So what I'm saying is all of this came from one sunspot, and there's 5 sunspots on the sun right now. And this one isn't even directly facing us yet. So why I'm saying that is that we got stuff that we're going to have to watch. If this blows a big one, and there's a CME involved with it, this thing is really, really active. I've not seen a sunspot this active in a long time. Now, this is the absorption, X-ray absorption, right? And you're going to see, actually, I'm just going to pause it and bring it back. This is back with that first one up here. Right here. Okay? So, and then the second one will show up. I'll take you to it here in just a second. But notice how that's flashing in and out. That's because those are different flares. Alright? And then the bigger one's coming about right there, I think. Yep. Okay, now remember, X-ray they get here in 8 minutes. So, yeah. That's fast, right? It's basically traveling at the speed of light, okay? And the sun's 93 million miles away from us. You do the math, and obviously you'll figure that out, right? So, and again, guys, I realize I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of viewers in here right now for a lot of reasons. I haven't done a live stream in a minute, and it's like 1 o'clock on the East Coast, so I get it. But I do want to, excuse me. Hey, Sig, good to see you, bud. And I want to say something too here real quick. Guys, don't forget about Mark Pires, guys. Positivity, man. He's the original positivity, in my opinion. I hope to be able to, get people from Tommy's channel and Mark Pires' channel to meet, because it's all positivity. We're all lifting each other up, and that's a great thing. So hopefully we can make that happen eventually. I know some of you guys are on both channels already, and that's really a good thing. And I really think that, anytime we can get a laugh or anything positive, we need to do it. So, but anyway, because I know I haven't been over on Mark's channel in the chat. I listen to him almost every night, guys. Sometimes on replay. He's a good friend of mine, and I don't walk away from that. Just so everybody understands that. And I would hope you guys wouldn't either. So, but I also want to tell you guys, I've been spending a lot of time with Tommy in the boat over there, and with the addiction stuff that I had, guys, listen, I'm passionate about it, and me and Tommy clicked we got real similar views, and that's why it works, and that's also why me and Mark clicked. Okay? I mean, Sig's in here, same thing. But all you guys in here that are talking right now, pretty much, the same, you guys have the same mindset. That's why you're here on my channel. So I don't let that negative BS even be around here. So, anyway, I'm sorry I got sidetracked. And again, guys, I have to tell you, this whole situation with me getting laughed at and all those kinds of things has really hit me right across the face. I'm just being honest. It's got me, jaded, I guess, if you want to use those words. Having a hard time focusing. Really. Hey, Joanna, good to see you. But anyway, so as we're looking at this flare, that is definitely something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. So we're just going to go over here, and we're going to look at where the flare came from. And that way you guys can see how this sunspot and what this sunspot is doing. This thing is, it's active. Like I said, and it's up here. We'll zoom in here a little bit. I don't have to, because you guys will see it right away. It's not something that is hard to notice. You know, we don't typically see the sun start crackling like a freaking firework like that. I mean, that's bam, 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 bam. I mean, it's just not even stopping. And up to current time, it's still blowing flares and eruptions here. Okay? And we got an M-class flare, and this thing hasn't even crested the limb yet. It's not even facing us yet. It's just the X-rays, it was right on the position where the X-rays blew off of there. It was able to come our direction also. So if this thing was here, we might be having a totally different conversation. You know, if this thing keeps doing what it's doing, it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. Now, I will say this. A lot of times when these sunspots get this active really, really quick like that, they'll usually take breaks, okay? And sometimes they'll completely dissipate. You know, we got to understand that everything in the universe pretty much is trying to find its way back to a stable state. And that's exactly why we get the stuff that we get. So, you know, I would say, you know, guys, we're just going to have to watch this one. This thing is just really, really active. And we can't forget about these. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this sunspot here, whether or not it should be 1 or 2. And the reason being is because the polarities on them. It's got some really strange polarity aspects of it, or it did. Where positive was like really close to positive and stuff like that. That usually doesn't happen with these sunspots. Usually when they see them like that, they will make them 2 separate sunspots. And they didn't do that this time for some reason. I don't know why, okay? I don't know what the explanation on that is. And it's not nothing, no big deal. It's just, it is of note that they didn't do that because it was kind of strange. So as you're looking up here, what we'll do is I'll go ahead and back off a little bit here. And we'll look at this in a different angstrom. See, even when I back off, look how much of that it's affecting. Okay? So also, guys, I mean, you can see eruptions down here too. Now, I've been watching everything here in the past week or so. I've been looking at from Stereo A's view, the side. This stuff has been active even since it was over there. So this is one of those things I don't think is like a shock, but it's just extremely active. So what we'll do here is we'll look at the 304. Now this is the one we typically look at. I think this is ionized helium, I think is what this is trying to look at, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that gas, but I think that's what it is. But you guys tell me when's the last time you looked at the 304 angstrom and you've seen it do that. Yeah, it truly looks like a fountain, like a firework fountain you would do on like the 4th of July or Memorial Day or something. But don't forget down here, guys, it's blowing down here too. So the sun is active on the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So there you go with that. I mean, this is the story, and this is what we're going to have to, look at here. This is not a chump. Now, like I've said before, these things can pop up and go away just as fast as they came. Hey, Fi, I seen you in there. Forgot to say hi. Hey, Bex, what's up? Truth, what's up? No, we're not all going to die, Truth. Nope. Not going to happen. We don't do fear here. Just so everybody understands that, too. There is no fear going on here. We don't fear stuff we can't control, number one. Number two, no, we're not going to die anyway. That's not going to happen. Not over this. This is just a flare. We can look at how many we get. Let's do that real quick, because this is a question that we get a lot. Actually, I don't even have to go there. I already got it pulled up. Let's go here. This is the radio blackout. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But geomagnetic storms, if you guys come over here to NOAA and you look at their graph here, it will tell you how many is expected in an 11-year sun cycle of each kind of flare, or geomagnetic storm, I should say, which typically will relate straight to all these levels that we talk about. They're pretty much one and the same. Not exactly, but close. So you can expect these right here. We just had an M flare, which isn't a geomagnetic storm, but, we get like a KP of 6, which is a low level. And I guess what we could do is we could go up here and check out the radio blackout one I was going to show you anyway. And, okay, come Come on. Help me out here. Where you at? Okay, there we go. We'll go back here, and this will tell you also. So right now we're on R1. This is caused by the flare itself, not the eruption after, which would be the CME. This is an R1 storm, so that would be a weak or minor degradation to high-frequency radio communications. Now, this is important on the sunlit side. So wherever it was day is when it got hit, right? Occasional loss of radio contact. You guys can read that, right? But we will experience that 2,000 times per cycle. 950 days per cycle. Ain't that crazy? That's in an 11-year time period. So that's how many times we're expected to see those things. And as they get stronger, obviously the number drops. But, you know, if you want to go talking about like an R5, we're talking about complete high-frequency radio blackout on the entire side that's on the sun, lasting for a number of hours. No high-frequency radio contact with basically boats would have issues. Aviators, planes, all of that. Navigation, low-frequency navigation signals, okay? This is hitting both low-frequency and high-frequency when you start talking about R5. Now, they put the number 1 here for every 11 years. I'm not sure exactly if that's like a really like accurate number. My guess is that's probably really close to correct. So, yeah. But yeah, this is not an R5 radio blackout. We're here. Okay, guys? So this is nothing to fear whatsoever. I mean, this is just something that we need to take note of and look at. And again, the biggest thing I want you guys to take from this is that we have not seen a sunspot do this sun cycle yet. Not this active. This thing is continually erupting up to current time. So it's still doing it, plus down here. So I'm going to take this all the way to the end, and you can see where it's erupting right now. That right there is plasma. That's not X-ray. So that's what we would consider if that was to actually leave the sun there. That would be a CME. Coronal mass ejection. Okay? That's what it is. Why do we look at the 304 angstrom? Because it's looking at that specific gas. What is plasma? Most people don't know that either. It's a charged gas. It's really that simple. So just understand that. Most people think we only got 3 states of matter. And it's perfectly all right that you don't know this, okay? Because this is something that outside of the science community or whatever, that doesn't get talked about. You got solid, liquid, gas. And then you got plasma after that. And what's plasma? It's just gas with a charge. Do the planets lined up at times, like the next 2 days, with three of them affect the sunspot activity? Yes, it most certainly does, Bubba. It's a great question. But yeah, it does, doesn't it, Truth? Looks like it's being fueled by fireworks. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely but yes, Bubba, that's a good question. Planet alignment has a lot to do with anything happening on the sun. We're all connected to the sun. So let me take you over to the CME tracker to explain that to you. And the reason I'm taking you over here is because it's just got a good little map here. Now that there was that first flare with the CME. This is not the M-class flare. When this one shows up on this one, it's probably going to be much bigger. And it'll probably be firing off kind of this direction instead of back this way. Okay? So, yeah. So planetary alignment has a lot to do with a lot of things. See these dotted lines? That's called an IMF line. Everything in the solar system, and I mean everything, even down to the satellites, are connected to the sun via an interplanetary magnetic field line. Okay, what does that mean? That means, at least very loosely, we're connected to everything else through the sun. So even though the planet's over here, we're connected to the sun's connected to it and us. What's that do? That tells you right there that we're connected. The whole solar system is connected together. at least very loosely. Now, when these planets line up, those connection lines become crossed. They do all kinds of crazy stuff here. And gravity actually has an effect on that too. But when you're talking about sunspots, that's magnetism. A sunspot is pretty much nothing more than a magnetic field line on the sun that has gotten stretched horizontally and kinked. So when that pops out through the surface, that's what we see as a sunspot. Okay? And the best way to explain that is, if you're looking at the sun here, okay, you have to understand that the sun is not a rock. Okay? So what that allows the sun to do is equatorial, about this region here, actually rotates at a faster rate than what the northern and southern parts of the sun do. So if you were to look at that on kind of like a graph, you would have kind of like something like that, right? So if you took when a sun, when it has a sun cycle, is a polarity flip on the sun. Now we talk about a pole flip here on our planet, right? I'm not going to go into that big discussion right now. But you got positive, negative, right? Or negative, positive, depending on where you're at. Now, when that flips, that starts the new sun cycle. So when the new sun cycle starts, the field lines are straight up and down. Okay? They're vertical. But because, and this is just a very basic explanation, guys, the biggest aspect here is the equator of the sun, equatorial region, is spinning faster than the north-south. It starts taking those magnetic field lines and stretching them horizontally. So as you progress in the sun cycle, they get further and further and further stretched horizontal till they're almost completely horizontal. And because of that stretch and a couple other effects that go on there that I'm not going to get into because it gets really complicated, essentially that magnetic field line, because it's getting stretched horizontally, kinks. When that kinks enough, it'll poke through the surface. That is your sunspot. Okay, that's also why you see the magnetic umbras here. They loop, right? The connection lines. So that's a basic, I know it was fast, but that's a basic how a sunspot is formed and why. So back to the planetary alignment, if you throw in those connection lines during an alignment of whatever alignment we're talking about, right now, let's see here. I'm not sure where Bubba was talking. The planetary alignment. See, we don't have the bigger gas giants and stuff back here on this graph. So they, when Jupiter and the sun, guys, you have to remember Jupiter was almost the sun anyway. So they're called gas giants. So they have very, very strong magnetic fields. They affect us. We're connected to them too, right? So when we get certain alignments, yes, you will actually sometimes see when that alignment starts to happen, a sunspot will pop up. And we've already seen that a couple times when Mercury, I think, lined up with Mars over here. When that happened, there was like a sunspot or two that popped up right there where there was not even a hint of one. So that's a very good evidence for, hey, that's what caused that sunspot. So, yeah. So that's I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to get into that detailed, but it is important for people to understand why we get sunspots, where they're at. And Bubba, that was a great question. Those kinds don't get asked like that very often. So, great question. Eddie Frustrated. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. It's my fault. No streams, like I said. And the biggest reason, guys, like I said earlier, it's me. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes when things happen, when you get attacked or whatever, it really gets in your head sometimes. Because like I said earlier, there's a human on the other side of this screen. You're talking to him right now. And I am affected by words. Anybody that's going to sit out there and say that they're not being truthful with themselves. So just understand that. as much as we can deflect it and we try not to let it bother us, we're all human and it gets to us eventually. I've never once come out and intentionally just tried to defend myself. I've never done that the whole time I've been on my channel. And I'm really struggling with the decision whether or not to even do that. And, you know, I just don't know. And I have a certain sense of responsibility for you guys too. You know, I've been doing some research for over a year now. And I haven't brought that research to you guys for this very reason. Because I'm trying to be respectful of all of it. And I'm really struggling with this right now, just so you guys know where my head's at. That's where it's at. You know, I was really just kind of taken aback about, you know, those certain things. And that's why my head's here, you know. And I've been close to shutting my channel down before, but this is probably the closest I've ever come to just going ahead and just pulling the plug. And I'm just being honest. You know, I cannot stand the cannibalism that goes on YouTube. That's really what it is. And sometimes the very people that talk about a red and a blue, right? One side of the aisle and the other. We all need to come together and stand up and talk and do all those kinds of things. That's what we should do, right? But then sometimes in the very next sentence, they'll start screaming and yelling and getting mad when you don't agree with them. It really just is so disheartening sometimes, I almost can't deal with it. And again, I'm just being honest. So just understand that. And you guys are the only reason why I'm still here. I promise you that, guys. I really am. That's the only reason. You know, I could look at solar weather on my own. I don't have to do this. I just do it because I've built a connection with you. You know, I can't remember who said it over on Mark's stream. They had a channel. They're running a channel. Who was it? Gosh dang it. Anyway, they're like, you know, they just do the upload thing because of that very reason. And, you know, I wouldn't change anything that I've ever done on my channel. And the reason why is because I've met all you guys. That's the God's honest truth. If I have to walk away from this right now, I really hope that I don't lose that connection with you guys. Wherever we can go hang out or whatever. Whether, you know, hopefully it'll be both on Tommy's boat, on Mark's channel, on wherever we're at. I just want it all to stay together. And that's where I'm at. And yeah, Bubba, I mean, it really wasn't like that. I mean, it's not like I was, yeah, and I don't want to get into it tonight because it is late. But again, I'm still struggling whether or not I even want to talk about it. But just know that that's why I haven't done any videos in a minute. I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around everything and all that, because I don't want anybody else to get any kind of hate at all, period. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, where I got laughed at and all that, please do not go over there and do anything. Just don't, okay? And the whole time I talk about this, I won't bring up anybody's name anyway. I just won't do it. It's never productive. It doesn't help anything. It just adds animosity. And I'm still truly trying to respect people. I really am. You know, there's so many others out there that when that happens to them, the first thing they would have did was hit the go live button and just start screaming. That's not me. I made a promise to you guys a long time ago. I wouldn't bring the drama around here, and it's not going to be here. So I can get attacked all I want everywhere else. I don't care, but it's not coming here. And I've followed through with that, even though, you know, people think that just because you're quiet, that's a weakness. I have to tell you guys, that's so much more of a strength than it is a weakness. Because when something's done to you, don't you just want to defend yourself immediately? Isn't that what we do? So it's harder. It's harder not to say anything. It's harder just to let it roll and let things take the shape that they do. And that is one of the bad things about social media. It really is. I'll just say this. I'm getting real good at playing the game Zelda. You guys ever play that game when you were a kid? Anybody know what that game is? If you know what that game is, yeah, I mean, I'm getting pretty good at playing that. And it's a good game. I mean, there's several versions of it. You guys should go check it out. Yeah, I might even show you that one of these days. Maybe sooner than later. I haven't decided. So yeah, we'll just roll with that. And you play that, do you, Axe? Good to see you, brother. I'm glad to see you. Guys, if you guys haven't checked out Axe's channel, him and Nacho up there doing their thing above, north of the border, doing some video games and some good music. But let's do this real quick, because I haven't done this in a minute either. I'm going to show you guys Mark's channel real quick. Yeah. If I can get to it. If I remember how to click buttons. But that is what it is, right? So, he's live right now. He had me cracking up earlier, guys. Talking about...
What are we doing?
Talking about the Dexter show. Making up some good stuff, man. I mean, see that smile right there? Don't you wish that could be you all the time? And I'm telling you right now, even though this man gets, has some hate and stuff thrown his way, and he has life just like the rest of us, he's out here every day putting that smile on his face. And that needs to be respected in some certain way. Needs to. You'll never walk away from this channel with a frown. So just understand that. So again, Christine's over there modding for him all the time. A lot of you guys are already over there. I know, I get that. I just, I really wish I could just say everybody's channel that I love and just every video. I really truly wish I could do that. But when you do those kinds of things, every video, people end up not hearing what you're saying. And I don't want that to happen. I want, because I strongly support Mark. I strongly support Tommy. I strongly support Axe and everybody else here that's running channels. Hey, Rampage, what's up, bud? And, guys, it takes a special breed to be able to do that. And it takes a special breed to stay positive. And let me tell you something. Me and Tommy talk a lot in the background. Over here on the lifeboat. We help each other stay positive. That's what me and Mark do, too, when we have our phone calls. I'm telling you. This whole thing, all of it, is about that. And people can't see it. Not everybody can see that that's what it's about. It is about building that connection with each other. It is about, yes, I'm going to use the word love. So just know it. I think Mark's getting ready to end his show, so I was going to, like I said, guys, I'm not getting off yet anyway, but if you guys want to go support him, you can hop over there real quick if you want. Don't always go to Mark's channel or Tommy's channel before you come here. Just watch mine on replay or something. But, guys, I appreciate the connection I get with you guys, okay? I really do. That's what keeps me going, and that's it. So that's just what I would say, and that's why I struggle with even trying to defend myself at certain levels. And let me say this too: it wasn't like a vicious attack or anything like that. Okay, that's not what it was. It's just it blindsided me a little bit. I didn't expect it, and that's what happened. So again. Please don't go mess with anybody if you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't. And again, let me say this too: not everybody in that stream was laughing or participating in that kind of a thing towards me. And I would say say those names, but if I do that, then it kind of you'll know exactly what's going on if I do that. And I know I'm speaking in code. And I know it sounds like I'm trying to work around stuff, but that's not my intent. My intent is I don't want, I told you guys I would never bring that drama here. And I'm not going to take that drama to their channel either. So that's why. And people can rake me over the coals on that all they want. That's one thing I won't break. I won't break that rule of mine. It ain't going to happen. But anyway, so, yes, I know. And guess what, guys? I'm going to get slammed on this one, too. I promise you. Oh, he's jumping around like a squirrel again. Well, sorry. Don't know what to say about that. But yeah. So here's the Discover data. Not much going on. Spaceweather.com. Again, guys, go give these guys some love. Again, they're talking about this flare. This is going to be big space weather news. Okay? I wouldn't even put it past the local news talking about this. Yeah, Bubba, for real. Because this is one of those deals. It's not like it's an X-flare or anything like that. But it is most definitely... Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate you. But it most definitely is something that the news could grab a hold of and make a story out of it. They really could. It's legit. This is a legit thing. This is not something that is... It's not like it's going to... I don't think it's going to be like grid down stuff. Guys, listen. If it's going to be grid down type of stuff... I don't even know what that would look like. I've seen big, huge X flares, but none of us alive have ever seen like a Carrington event type of flare. None of us. And that was before we had satellites up there to look at that stuff. Back at you, Anna. Appreciate you. And that's just is what it is, right? But yeah, guys, so if you guys want to know, if you guys have ever wanted to support me in any certain way, the best thing is just to be a part of what I do. And the very next thing, and this is what I'm passionate about, is making a difference in other people's lives. And the best way that I can do that on a whole is to support people like Mark and Tommy. And that's why. So please go sub up to their channels. If you haven't been there yet, I'm not going to send you guys somewhere I wouldn't go myself. You're not going to get negativity on anything over there on either one of those channels. Just not going to happen. We got real life, but ain't none of it in a negative fashion. And we talk about, the recovery process of coming off of opiates or any addiction and living your best life. All that stuff. Even like weight loss and quitting smoking and these things, they get talked about often over on Tommy's channel, The Lifeboat. Somebody drop that link in there if they could. But, just as much as I supported Mark, I'm supporting Tommy the same. And because they're very similar in the positive things that they want to do. That's why. That is why. So if you haven't been to either one of those channels, please go there. Just give them a shot. That's all I'm asking. Go give them a subscription. Click that bell. Unsub for my channel if you got too many subscriptions. I don't know. I would rather you be there than here, is what I'm trying to say. So just understand all of that. And that's really what... Sometimes I think that's why my channel succeeded the way that it has. I really do. I've been able to build connections with you guys and had real conversations with you guys in the background. Hey, Rippy, go check out Rip's channel too. See what I mean, guys? Hey, Tom, check out Tom's channel. I think Tom's doing a channel now too. It is, it's just, man, I've been so fortunate to find such a positive group of people running channels. It's freaking amazing. It really is. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. It just is. I've built really good friendships with these people. Really good friendships. And, I know my channel is a little bit different than what it used to be because of the live shows. I get it. But I have to be honest. That's what I like to do. I like to have that connection. That's why I do it. And, I try to accommodate when I'm doing videos regularly. And if I decide to keep my channel up, I'll probably get back to doing some of those, 15, 20 minute short ones. They may be live streams, but they're going to be short, or it's just going to be the beginning of a video. Because if you guys know anything about analytics on YouTube, you're not going to get views on stuff that's over an hour, number one. It just never happens. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Well, it does in some people's channels, but, for what I do, anything over an hour, just people are coming here. If I get new people in here, they're coming here because they want to hear about space weather. But my hope is to show them really good space weather stuff, and then, at least sprinkle in a little bit of good positivity life stuff about it, right? And a good way for me to do that, again, is to push people over to Mark's channel, Tommy's channel, Rip's channel, Axe's channel. I mean, see what I mean, guys? See how many people that I have been fortunate enough to meet? You're right, Fi. It has most definitely changed people's lives. She says the lifeboat has changed her life, and it definitely does. If you guys don't know if you're having addiction problems, or if you've got family members that are, send them over there. We just talked about that today in the live stream over there. You will get 9-10 people, hey Ricky, that will smack you right across the face with a, hey, hello, how are you doing? If you say one word in the chat, they're going to ask how you are. That is the environment. It's the same thing on Mark's channel. And guys, listen. I have to say this too. We're looking at this big flare. We do have to prepare, at least at some level, in my opinion. And again, the best place to go to learn how to do those kinds of things would be Rip. All these guys I'm talking about right now are in my description box. Every one of them. And I know, I get why people are like, why do you keep doing that, this and that and the other? It just, yeah. Yeah, Tommy, that's Rip Curl. He was actually, he hit me up in an email. I forgot to say something to you. I'm sorry, Rip. Dude, let me tell you something, man. My head's been spinning, like I said, but he said he would be willing to come on and share his story too, Tommy. If you guys want to I can get you an email and stuff, guys. That way we can, hook those kinds of things up. You guys are going to see goodbye letters to their drug of choice. I'm talking heartfelt, tear-jerking stuff. Then, guys, check this out. Where else you going to go and watch an interview of a ex-drug dealer apologize to the world for his part in the addiction crisis? Where are you going to find that at? You're not. You will never see that anywhere else. But that's what you see when you come over to the lifeboat. His name is Chris. His screen name is Kiss Freak, I think. He's a Canadian. Awesome dude. Those are the kinds of things. We get people over there all the time that are still actively using or drinking or whatever. We don't judge people. Period. If they're in there, they're there for a reason. Okay? So, we get more excited about people just now getting clean. We got a guy named Joe, 23 days clean, had done meth 17 years in a row. Could you imagine that? And then, he comes over to the lifeboat, was still using, and then decided, because of what was going on there and the people that talked to him, to try to quit. It inspired him to do that. And he's been 23 days clean now. There's other people that have went into in-house rehabs and are sending letters back out saying, hey, the lifeboat really helped get me there. We don't do things irresponsibly. Right at the beginning, we give you an avenue to go if you need help. Numbers, all that kind of stuff. So, that's what I'm saying. And I know none of that, absolutely none of that had to do with space weather. But you know what? It had to do with human beings. And what are you guys? You guys are human beings. That's why I talk about it. And again, I'm passionate about the space weather stuff too. I think it's really cool. I've learned a lot from a lot of different people. So, what I'm saying, guys, those of us that are positive naturally gravitate towards each other. That is the truth. And we don't ram religion down anybody's throat, but we don't discourage it either. People are, they're allowed to feel how they feel. And that's true on Mark's channel too. Like I said, I would not be or send people to a channel that couldn't do that kind of thing. So please go check those guys out. That is the biggest advice I could give anybody. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, they do. You're right. They have to learn their own way for sure. But we can help facilitate that. And that's kind of what we're doing. People shut down immediately when you judge them, and that's why we don't do that. I guess I kind of look at it like this. If I say my son had an addiction problem, and he wouldn't talk to me or the family, and had nowhere else to go, I would, and if his one and only chance was to come across a YouTube channel that wouldn't judge him and make him feel comfortable enough to be able to say, hey, this is my story. I don't know if I want or need help, but I'm talking to you. I wouldn't want the judgment to stop him from being able to do that. Right? And that goes for anybody that we love. But we have, yes, I do agree with that. You're going to have to help yourself. And that is a decision that you have to make. It's not easy. Ain't never going to be easy. But what's easier? You know what I mean? I get it. And that's exactly right. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, and again, guys, let me, Daniel's in there. He's talking about there is a place for tough love. Most certainly. And that, there's a place for all of that. But what I'm saying is, when you come over there, you can find your own path to recovery, is what I'm saying. And everybody's road is going to be at least a little bit different, if not a lot. And what we try to do is to make sure that those guys doing that have a place to come to talk. And it's like a big group session. It's like going to a family get-together. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, Daniel, I'm not saying anything there, man. I mean, honestly, everybody's allowed to have that. It is, yeah. Yeah, I know, Mom Atomic. I get it. I just, like I said, guys, those of us doing channels are, we're human. So stuff does hit us, it does get a little rough. And, yeah, so, and again, like I said earlier, guys, I'm just really struggling right now with this because I don't know, man. I just I can't handle negativity like I used to. And I just been, when I get even halfway attacked and maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion. I don't know. I just don't. And that, when I'm confused, I don't want to act on something because then I'll make the wrong decision. And that's kind of what I'm saying here. And that's why I haven't talked about any of it before. That's why. I don't want to make that decision and make it be the bad one. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm making sense there. I don't know, guys. But, again, I know most people are here for space weather, but tonight I just wanted to show everybody the M flare and just let everybody know why I hadn't been around for a minute. And that's why. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. And you know. I will let you guys know shortly whether or not what my decision is. I may or may not be making videos on them anymore. If I'm not going to, I'll come on and at least tell you guys, okay? Then I'll tell you if I'm going to continue or not. But I seriously have not decided. I can't put myself through that anymore. I really can't. You know, I'm pretty decent running the technical stuff in the background. And I don't mind it. And it's just, yeah, you're right, Dan. You got to follow your heart. You really do. And, you know, when your heart gets broke, I guess, I know it sounds kind of like a wuss thing to say for a man to say those kinds of things. But to be honest with you, yeah, my heart was a little bit broken. When stuff surprises you like that, it's hard for it not to. No matter what the intent was, I mean, it will affect you. It just does. But I try, guys, and again, this isn't the first time this has happened to anybody on YouTube, or even the first time it's happened to me. It's just this particular time, maybe it's because I've been around for so long, it really is, I'm really having a hard time with it. Red Green. You guys remember that? Back at you. You guys remember the Red Green show? I don't think that's even on anymore. Back at you too, Tommy. Red Green was a hysterical comedian, man. I mean, that guy cracked me up. Doing all kinds of crazy stuff with duct tape and a hammer and everything. It's hysterical. But yeah, I used to sit around and watch it with my in-laws and my kids. Very, very funny stuff. Say it to my face. Has it become active? No, not at all, Bex. That's something, that was an idea I had that just never materialized. Nobody really, you know, I had a couple, but then I could only get one person to do it on one side or the other. What Bex is talking about there, I have a second channel set up, and it was going to be like a debate channel where everybody could come and debate and still be friends. That was my hope. I called it Say It to My Face. That way we wouldn't be talking about, you know, running off doing a video here and then, you know, just a video war. Then everybody starts watching everybody's channel because of the video war and not because of the info inside it. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like watching a drama reality show. So my thought process there was I'd start this Say It to My Face channel and have people that were disagreeing with each other just come on and get equal amount of time to explain both positions. Both of them are there. And it can be done and over with after that. People can walk away and be friends. It doesn't have to always be, I hate you, just because we don't agree, right? And that, unfortunately, that's where this world has been. And so, yeah. So I tried to get that going, and I just didn't get enough bites. It just wasn't going to be worth doing it, taking the time to do it. And now I don't have the time, just to be honest with you. I would rather be helping, you know, Tommy over on his channel and still help him get people over to Mark and everywhere else that we do this, right? And that, you know, like I said, guys, running a YouTube channel is not easy. Just the technical aspect of it isn't. I literally am helping Tommy, and I never had done this before, and I'm running his channel from where I'm at in Indiana, and he lives in Nevada. So yeah, so I'm running it remotely. How cool is that? I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about it like that, but it is. And, you know, and I get to chime in a little bit in those videos and try to put a little bit of mine in there too. And if you guys, you know, I've actually in my head, I didn't even realize I was doing this, but if you guys go over and watch Marfugal, that's exactly what Adam and Dex do. It really is. And I didn't even realize I was following that same template. And I was. It's pretty close to it. Me and Tommy kind of pretty much follow that same kind of vibe. And, you know, and even our hope is to do some call-in shows. So I really think this subject that we talk about over there, it would really work with a call-in show. So, hey, Mary, good to see you. CR, what's up? Yeah, okay, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through this flare information again, okay? So you guys get it real quick, okay? Yeah, I read that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, you got the Schumann here. Obviously, not much going. I'm not even going to talk about it, honestly. Let me update this page. This is NOAA, for anybody that doesn't know. NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center. This is really the official forecasting. This is where it comes from. So if you're going to look at stuff, you can go down, well, it's up here in this little box here. You can look at the space weather forecasting, but if you want to know the forecast of like if a flare is going to hit us and all those kinds of things, you can look here. This is their version of the Enlil spiral, and it does forecast out 5 days in advance. So this right here, I don't know if that was from that M-class flare or not. Most likely, I would say yes. That's why this has been added. This was not here a few hours ago. So, and something else I want to point out. This model here gets updated with the assistance of an actual human. This one does not. This is the NASA version. This one is solely done by AI. So that's why this one will sometimes show CMEs or whatever that aren't really actually there. You know, the models aren't perfect, so when they leave it up to AI to run them, sometimes they'll miss it when they miss it, you know? So that's what I would say. Just understand that. And yeah, so let's take a look at the flare itself real quick. Again, this is 304 angstrom. This is I believe it's ionized helium is the 304 is what they're actually trying to single out here by using this. Actually, I'm going to back that up a little bit. We're going to reload that to make sure we get the most up-to-date thing here. So it's over here. Notice how that thing wasn't really doing much. And then watch what happens, man. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's erupting again, just so everybody understands that too. Let me look at it. Yeah, it most certainly is erupting again. Look at that. So let me back this up and I'll slow it down and we'll take a look at it. That's too slow. There's one eruption. And we'll get to the bigger. See that one shoot out? I guarantee you plasma left on that one. Look at that last eruption right there. Wow, look at those. That left, yeah. This thing is still... Yeah, we're not going to let our guard down on that one, guys. That is definitely... And let's not forget these down here. This filament over here is standing up off the sun pretty far, too. See this one? If you look real close, we'll zoom into this one so you can see it. Remember what is plasma? It's charged particles, right? Charged gas. So the charged helium that's on the sun, the plasma part of it that we're looking at right here, not just the helium, but it's an arc. The plasma has to, or the charged particles have to stay on that magnetic line. And sometimes those lines will break, and that's when they get shot out into space. So that's what I would say, right? I mean, right there. That's not it's not a big deal there. But if that one was to snap off, when filaments release, guys, the way that they bust like an incandescent light bulb, the filament in the middle. That, you know, they put that filament in there because it causes resistance, and the resistance causes heat, and the heat causes the light. That's why your incandescent light bulbs work. Okay? But yeah, so when these things snap off, they'll snap off in both directions sometimes. And they're also sometimes they'll bust here and get flung out this way. I've seen filaments release over here and actually go to the left of Earth. It's weird because it kind of gets flung out in different directions sometimes. So just know that. I mean, just look at that overall picture of the sun here. I I mean, it's just active, guys. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It really is. I mean, it's erupting in multiple places, and I really do think this one could be throwing some more stuff at us here shortly. One thing I didn't do real quick, I probably should have. What was I going to look at there? Well, let's take a look at the earthquakes real quick. And again, guys, you know, does space weather have an effect on earthquakes? Most people think that they do. Can we pinpoint directly to it? You know, that's the question. And I'm not saying that we can't, and I'm not saying that we can yet. I don't have the knowledge on this. Okay? It's just never been my forte. But I do think that at least it does affect. Space weather does affect what's going on. You know, there's something called the global electric circuit. There's all kinds of things that are involved. The plasma underneath. There's stuff called blot echoes. There's all kinds of vocabulary you can go down and learn about if you wanted to. Hey, Wolfie, good to see you, bud. Back at you, man. So, yeah. Again, guys, yeah, there's 5 sunspots. So, and again, we're under a R1 minor radiation or radio blackout. Nothing really, you're not going to see hardly anything from that, guys. Most of this will actually hit towards the poles, and there's not as much population there anyway. So it's not going to really affect us a whole lot, most of us, if any of us, really. First responders and stuff can kind of have issues when we get geomagnetic storms, but this is not a geomagnetic storm. But yeah, so I wanted to give you a little quick rundown there again. I guess I could show you seeds real quick before we get off here. It hadn't updated when I looked at it a little while ago. Yeah, it still hasn't. So here's the 25th. This is from our view, right? This is Soho. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are. And when you see these little halo action going on, we don't know if it's coming at us or going off the backside just by looking at this one view. So we have to have a side perspective also. And we can get that side perspective from stereo A. At least a partial side. And there it is. See that? So let me pause it. So I can tell you pretty confidently that that one is not coming at us. Alright? Now the day before, this is what you get. Watch this. Oh, heck. It ain't even showing it now. Let's go to the next day here. Let's see what we got. We got anything for the 26th yet? Nothing yet. Over on ISWA, I think I had it pulled up. Let's see if it's... Do I still have it? No, it takes a minute for ISWA to load, so I'm not going to do it. But, yeah. But those are some pretty decent ones, guys. So let's just, we'll keep an eye on that sunspot, guys, and we'll roll from there. And I'm going to quit rambling, guys. I know I've been on here quite a long time, and a lot of it wasn't about space weather. I get it. I may even, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. So, but look at that. This is crazy. It's just nuts to me. You know what? Let's look at the 131 before we go here. Because I really truly think that this one here will show you like more of a flare. It typically does. It'll get real bright up here. Yeah. Definitely shows more of it, but the 94. If you guys just want to see the light that comes off of these things, or I guess the X-ray, go to the 94 angstrom. Watch this. I guarantee you this one lights up. I haven't looked at it yet, but yeah, you see how bright that got? That's just crazy stuff there, man. Watch it again here. I ain't even got to show it to you. It is. It's like crackling fireworks, man. But anyway, guys, thank you for being here, and thank you for being awesome people like you guys always are. I appreciate all my moderators. Everybody here is from other channels. I appreciate you. Love all you guys. And I know I got a little sappy tonight, but listen, guys, and I'm going to say it one more time. I'm a human being. Words matter, words hurt, and words help. So, let's take the middle one out of there. Let's make them matter, but when we make them matter, let's make them help, not hurt. All right? And that's kind of where I'm at. And a while back, guys, if you remember, I started realizing that, we used to use these words called red pill, right, from the Matrix. Choose the red pill or the blue pill. What was I telling you guys? What did I tell you guys about that? I came up with a new pill called the purple pill. What does that mean? Well, we don't need to take the red pill to wake up. And we don't need to take the blue pill to stay asleep. How about we combine them, make it one pill, and that way you can get information and truth from both sides. Because if you take the red one, you're expected not to believe anything that you've ever been taught. And if you take the blue one, then you're expected not to even entertain anything new. Do you see a problem there? There's a big problem there. And unfortunately, that's not even just here on YouTube. That's just around the world. That's the way everything is going right now. And I hate it. That's we got a saying over on the boat called hate the hate, not the hater. That is so true. So true. You took all the pills, Lisa? Yeah, I used to too. Yeah. But yeah. Well, thank you, Conspiracy Realist. Appreciate you. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and get off here. It's going quite long now. So anyway, guys, God bless. Yahushua saves. And guess what? You can drink this Kool-Aid.